Hi folks, I'm Jason Irwin, and today I'm going to do a little video here on techniques that you could use to teach your horse to stand still. So with a horse that's always moving its feet, one thing I like to do is I'll reach down and flex that horse to the side. I'm going to bring its nose around until it touches the toe of one of my boots. Then I'll just release and go ahead and flex the other way. And what this is doing is it's giving the horse something to think about, and it's giving him a little job to do that does not involve moving his feet though. So he has something to think about, but his feet are staying in one place. I'll just flex back and forth like this for a minute. Then what I'll do is I'll release, stand here on a slack rein. If he goes to walk off like he did right there, I'll just go back to flexing. And this is a good one to do a lot of times on young and green horses, because very often those are the ones that are just sort of overthinking a situation. Their mind is running, but they're not maybe paying attention to what they're actually supposed to be doing. So again, I'll just do this for a second, then I'll sit here on a slack rein. He wants to walk off again, and I'll just go back to flexing. Now, I'll keep doing this until I can release the rein and he'll stand here for maybe 10 seconds or so. Once he does that, that's good enough, and then I'll walk off. But then over time, I'll gradually lengthen that out until he stands perfectly. Right there, he's bracing a little bit, so I had to bring him around a little bit more. And again, I'll just stand here on a slack rein. That's pretty good. Now I want to walk off before he starts trying to move, because then we're leaving on my terms, not his. But I would just keep playing around with that, gradually making the length of time a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Before too long, your horse is going to stop and stand as long as you'd like them to. So another approach I could take here is, instead of trying to hold the horse still, instead I'm going to go ahead and put that energy to use. I'm going to say, hey, that's great that you want to do something. I'm going to give you something to do. So I'm going to take here and I'm just going to start moving around on this guy. And you could do whatever you want. You could trot or lope circles, do figure eight, slope squares. It doesn't really matter. But just go ahead and give that horse something to do. Make sure it's something, though, that is going to burn up some energy. So right here, I'm going to roll around on him for a minute or so. Ideally, I'm going to keep going until I feel him wanting to slow down. When I feel him wanting to slow down, I'm then going to go just a little bit longer. The reason for that is I don't want him learning to quit on me. I want to make it where when I ask him to stop, he's been wanting to stop for a few moments, and that way there he'll appreciate the stop a little bit more. So again, he's a little bit fresh today, so this might take me just a second. That right there, I felt him wanting to slow down a little bit, so I'll go just that little extra bit more. Now I'm going to stop him. And I'm just going to give him a real short little break here, but it is going to be really darn short. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave again. And I want to leave before he wants to go. So what I mean by that is, if I felt like he was going to stand there for 20 seconds, I want to leave in maybe 10 seconds. I want leaving to be my idea, not his. So I'm just going to roll around here again for another minute or so. And I'm only going the one way just because it's a little easier to keep in camera range, but you could go ahead and cruise over a bigger area if you want. Nothing says it has to be like the way I'm doing here. Now I'm kind of feeling him wanting to slow again a little bit right now. So I'm just going to go that little extra that I mentioned before. So I'm pushing on him a little bit right now, which is what I want. I'm going to stop on him. And this time here, ideally, I'll stay stopped just a little bit longer than the last one, but again, not that long. Now right here, he's trying to move on his own, so what I'm going to do is hold him still for another second or two and then leave. So that one, in a perfect world, I actually should have left a little bit sooner than I actually did, but for the purpose of the video, that was actually pretty good. So if they do go to leave before you want them to, just ask them to hold still for another couple seconds and then go. So again, it's on your terms. Another thing, it's a good idea sometimes, just kind of rub and scratch on your horse when they are still. It might not seem it, but that's just something for them to think about, and sometimes that's just enough to hold them that little bit longer there. Now I would take, ride off, and go again. Now, I think you probably get the point, so I'm not going to repeat this a whole bunch of times. But as you go around here, Just keep building up that time a little bit longer, a little bit longer, and eventually they'll start to understand that stopping is a nice thing. Do this when your horse is maybe at the end of a ride. Don't do this exercise at the very start, or you'll find you have to do a ton of loping to get this lesson to really sink in. Another exercise that I'll do is the following. I'll ask my horse to stop, and then I'm just going to sit there on a slack rein. If he goes to walk off like right there, I'm going to catch him with the reins just enough to keep him from going forward, and then I'm going to rock with my legs until he takes a step back. If he walks forward again, I'll just repeat this. Now, again, it's very important that I don't pull him back. I want to just hold him enough that he can't go ahead, but it's the rocking of my legs that's going to cue him to back up. The reason I do this is I find that the more I try to hold one still, the more they just tend to want to go. So instead of keeping him still with my hands, I make it where it's my legs that sort of correct him when he makes a mistake. When he stands here nice and still, then obviously I just sit here and let him kind of relax. So I hope this gives you some tips on teaching your horse to stand still. You might find that one exercise in particular works best for your horse, or you might use a combination of them. Either way, stick to it, and chances are it'll work pretty good before too long. If you have any topics or questions that you would like covered in a future video, just go ahead and post them in the comments below, and hopefully we'll get to them before too long. Bye for now.